it is using the structure of the information you gave it to give you something that is real. Do you understand? Something that is real, something that is organic. Now, this is test 1. We're going to go back and create a new chat and just write a random prompt. You can see the quality of prompts that this is being able to give us, right? So with this, you can actually do more. You can decide to create a game or a poll or something people can really engage on your page. You want people to actually put your housing plan or building plan into their New Year resolution. Maybe you want them to create a habit of actually looking out for properties or checking out stuff that's on your distance. So now, prompt. Let's see what ChatGPT is going to do.
Life will test you. Creativity will stretch you. Business will expose you. Strategy will save you. Let's build with intention. Stay brand-wise with Dr. Paul.
So the ChatGPT can now give you the list of big ideas. But sometimes you may want to take a little bit more step to make it more local, right? Going to search for, those days there are apps that help you do, before this GPT AIs came out, those days we used to use like Hootsuite. I've heard of Hootsuite. All right. I know you guys are new generation content people. You guys don't know. Let me brag a little, right? So, so the apps that Hootsuite is used for media listening. That like apps like that, but Hootsuite happen to be like the most popular. So what happens with a Hootsuite is that it goes to listen to your mentions on all social media platforms. So you put your social media handle there, it sweeps the entire internet and get what people are saying about you or have said, mentioning words associated with your brand. So if you even want to sack your staff, you can use Hootsuite and find out what they are saying, and if your staff falls under that, then you come and explain his or herself, hallelujah, somebody. Now Hootsuite is that app, but these days I think Instagram have AI now powered. And I don't know, maybe in the future when people are going to be watching this video, I don't know what Instagram is again. TikTok have all of those things. So you can Google or search on these platforms. Instagram, break it down on your search and find words or comments in comment sections, in videos, things, trends that are around that conversation. So there are words that you have to pick, right? Words that you have to pick that are very random in your society or in your area or in that field. Things like, maybe because I'm talking about gym, you have like no pain, no gain, right? Very random. You have like it's easy. There are a lot of them actually associated with gym people. You have like reps, right? You get all those keywords. You have as many the phrases and keywords. Have it all over the place. All right, you can find out how to join them, right? Or get AI to help you combine to come up with maybe something big or something very huge, right? So when you have that word, when you have that big, now for Naveen, part of the things we did was I had a meeting with the client and I asked them a couple of questions and realized that, okay, the core value here is not just properties that are coming up, but properties that are sellable. All right, you can sell, you can use, and stuff like that. So not just like people are buying properties and keeping. We were trying to look for properties that, so even though other people have that idea, but what and how we're going to communicate our own is going to be in a type of way. So which in your strategy, you have to find a way to put it up, bring it up over and over again, so it sits in the heads of people. So now, branding is good, strategy is good, but what is very important is repetition. So these are the ideas. Now you have your big ideas. Now you come up with those big ideas, big ideas and conversations of that nature, and you can take it up from there. Now there are forms your content can take, which already most people know what you can do. You can take the form of a poll, you can take form of a picture, POVs, video education content, blah blah blah. But the core of it, the purpose of it, the objective is basically to drive both engagement, drive engagement, create awareness. Basically two things: create engagement, create awareness, or three: create engagement, create awareness, and drive sales. Right? Which people go for sales before awareness and engagement, which is a wrong order. Right? For you to have a successful content, you should be able to engage the people, make people aware, get them engaged, and then you can get them to buy or sell anything. I mean, the classic rule. So the other forms of it, those ones for things you can learn online, we can see people that say, oh, this is how I got this transformation content before and after, educating them, mistakes and all of that stuff. So you have all of those forms there, so which you must know. Then you can see from ChatGPT, now having all this information, what are the kind of content I should create, or the classes or the forms of content I should create for. Now, I want to talk about English. For you to get this English, you should be able to understand the communication. I think the pathos, ethos, and I think it's ethos, the pathos and the logos. Like, how did I forget logos? Like, a whole Christian like me forget logos. So now this communication part, the ethos speaks about the appeal to credibility, right? Appeal to credibility is basically who you are, the person talking, right? The ethos is as important as the communication. So these are the things you check before you even believe anything. So that is why it's very important that people or brands or people pay so much attention in the ethos, building credibility, even if they are fake. Most times they build so much credibility and they make you believe anything they say. So no matter, even if you have good content, even if you have good qualities in your life as a person, if your ethos is not intact, right, it will be hard for people to believe you. And how people believe you is through the logos, facts. So you must have built facts, which is logos, and then the ethos, the pathos, which is the emotional part of things, about the feeling, the moving people by touching their hearts. And I already told you the emotional aspect of it, money, love and all of that stuff. But I'm going to close this conversation with pathos. Just watch. So now, those are the things you now have to consider. Okay, how do I make my company look credible? Credibility, and all of those things. And, you have that. You already have the content styles, the solution, education. Even in the education, there are other forms of engagement. These are the things you can find online, right? Even Pinterest can show you some of those headlines. You can still type in those headlines and use them to generate or prompt what you must prompt. All right. And then we can try something and we'll see what the stuff, if you still remember the headline that talks about, the keywords from the masses, very important. Even in brand strategies, right, watching, you can actually use those ideas to reduce or make your work easy and faster. And yeah. So now, the goal of this is to actually reduce stress. They actually reduce the time you spend, working so hard or trying as much as possible to get some things done. But even with the tools you have, it doesn't feel like you are making a headway. All right. And most importantly, some people believe that money is not everything. But in this industry, the reason your client is hiring you is because they want you to make money for them, not to. They don't like you. You are not sweet. You are not jollof rice, right? So the goal is for you to help them make money, and if you're able to make them money, you definitely have a lot of money or more money that more than you will need. All right. So most times they go for where the value is most, and the last thing is who shows more of these values, right? You may have the value, but they can't see you. It becomes a major problem. So, without no further ado, we're going to jump right and see what it feels like to come up with, to write, big ideas and get attention of people using our AI prompts. All right, go ahead. So,
Real estate, the realm.
so the realm real estate. So, what do you guys do basically is more important. So you guys sell or you guys rent, because real estate have like different aspects of it. There is rental, there is development, there is sales, there is mortgage. So what do you guys do exactly? Are you guys into agency, or what are your primary audience? Who are your primary audience right now? So people that will be able to afford that, and you need to determine their jobs. So having generated these things, we have to now look at their pain points, right? Look at basically the things they worry about, right? Regarding, remember your core offering is what?
My course.
Your core offering in the product is what?
Affordability.
No. What are you offering? What is the major product? You are into what? Real estate.
Okay, real estate, yeah.
What? Rental and development.
Yes.
So now in this rental, right, there are challenges, there are fears. You need to list them out. So you can list to a point and ChatGPT can help you list to the rest. Then development, you can list to a point and ChatGPT will help you list to the rest. Do you understand? So the point you can remember is stop. Then when we put it in GPT, you understand what we're saying. So go ahead and keep on prompting it. So, all right. So what do you have there?
Pain points.
Yes. What do you have there?
Affordable housing.
Just to go and keep going. We have been able to generate a couple of those, and then we are going further to develop their pain points. Their fears, right? And then after that, what else? So remember that in the course of this, you're supposed to also be going through Google, right, to get some data. So and you're copying data and putting on your what do you call it, or your doc, right? And then what are you positioning as? So what value are you bringing generally? So write it. What values am I bringing generally to them? So am I making it easy for them to find properties? Am I making it easy for them to find affordable or whatever? Just write what you think you are bringing to them. And then you might as well like sometimes have sticky notes or notepads or your pen where you write out things like things like the things they say online, the complaints they make online concerning real estate developers, concerning all those things. So you may need to get some of those information as well. Very important. So when you do that, and then when you do that, let me know. Then we'll now go to the content part. So now we look at, we talked about the ethos, the pathos, and the logos, which you've already developed your facts, and we have now discussed what we call these three things. So what are the things that makes you credible? Are you registered? Right? So you write those things down. Are you under any form of registration? What kind of phone numbers? Your phone numbers, what phone number should they not call? What's your process, your SOP, to protect the client's data or the client information from, not being stolen or not being used, by criminals. What that means, maybe you are registered, your payment system is verified, and all of that, and so you put them down. So maybe your location, your inspection system. So you already must have built all those values in your company, and must have done all those things before you begin to prompt anything from GPT. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. What do you have there? Yeah, so the big idea is now you've looked for words around the system. Have you looked for words, the buzzwords? You've looked for the clients, look for what people are saying on their comments and all of that stuff. So at this point, right, you may want to go through Instagram or check real estate developers' problems, see people complaining. You understand my point? So all those complaints, you have to compile them. So for now, we'll skip that. So you that is watching, please just go do the same thing. Abi? And then therefore now, you've already you talked about the solutions you're going to bring, right? So now copy each section. What's the first section? What's the first section of this, your analysis?
Primary audience.
Exactly. So now you're going to go to ChatGPT, copy your primary audience, and you're going to paste it with the name of your company. Name of your company, describe the name of your company, describe what your company does, just copy it and tell ChatGPT to refine this primary audience and give you detail of, their day-to-day life. So the goal here, right, is to try and give ChatGPT a memory. So when you start prompting your copies or you start prompting other ideas, it basically takes from the brain, from the research it has conducted. Now know that you can't pump in a full-on question. ChatGPT is going to give you something very generic that it has given 99 others. So maybe because of internet, but I used to tell people, if your ChatGPT doesn't take time to think, you must have prompted what 1 million people have prompted. Aspirations and passion, right? Based on where they live, how they buy. Basically, just overall ideas. So now these are like the people and what they basically want you to think, or what you want them to think. So now copy this and go and paste, create a new tab, right? You create a new tab on your document and save it there and call it pain points. Do you understand now? Now, what is the next thing on our agenda on the first document? What's the next thing on the first document?
Next, we have our pain points, we've done pain points. Then unique selling points.
Which is what?
Actually, this one.
Yeah, read it.
Brand is registered.
So what you do now is to copy the next one, which is this your unique selling point, and put ChatGPT and tell it to make it, structure it better, sound better and more convincing. Do you understand? Your unique selling point. Enter it. So now we've been able to work on the ethos, the pathos, and the logos, perhaps the facts around our business. So if there are more things you've noted down about business, this is the time you want to implement it or write it down, right? And then what next should you generate is a buzzword. So what are the things actually currently going on the media space? What are the things people saying? And what are the words basically you want to use to sell the market to your people? Do you understand? So you now start writing them down. Do you have anyone? Start writing them down. Now, after that, now you'd want to start creating content, right? So you already have the different categories of content. You want to create videos, POVs, however you want to do it. So, but there are already phases to this. The awareness, where's the second one? The awareness, the engagement, and the conversion, right? And these are the things you now want to know. You're not going to say they want to break your campaign into 3 phases. So write to the ChatGPT now. You want to generate a campaign into 3 phases, right? And then generating the campaign into 3 phases: the awareness, the engagement, and then the conversion. So these 3 phases, he should give you 5 different types of contents in picture, in video, or maybe on teasers, and direction on where to go. Now, sometimes I actually go to, do the directions myself, like prompt for that. Jesus. I actually have some directions in my head, right? So I give clue on the direction I want it to go to. So do you have any direction in your head that you want it to go through? Then if you have, just give the hint. Maybe in this direction, right? Maybe, just maybe, right? In this direction. So now, this is now where you want to engage things like satires, all the English idioms and all of that. So in your awareness, you might want to create teasers. So in your awareness, you might want to go, okay, so these are my audience, all right? And I would want you to maybe make use of humor or words that are buzzing. But if you already have those words, you've already written all those words in Nigeria, you're going to use them and make that work. So right now, you take it in chunks. With the information you have now, create me this, and this, awareness phase, this and this, and the kind of content or whatever I'm going to be using for that. So try it. Try it now. Go ahead. You already have the 3 categories. It is using the structure of information you gave it to give you something that is real. Do you understand? Something that is real, something that is organic. Now, this is test 1. We're going to go back and create a new chat and just write a random prompt. So you have to, for you to get the best of it, you have to really sit down and break things down in bits like this. So you give more information to your chat, and then from that chat you guys are having is able to combine the egusi soup and jollof and come up with something that is edible. That's how it works. So now you can now start editing your stuff, giving it more. So if you want to go in the direction of old sayings or quotes or something you saw somewhere or something that insults landlords, now you can write, oh, let this be like, give it a direction like indirectly dissing land. Just type, can you generate like 5 other headlines that can indirectly diss, not like insult, rather, I mean, make humor or diss landlords or my landlord, right? Subtly, yeah, you can do whatever you like. You can see the quality of prompts that this is being able to give us, right? So with this, you can actually do more. You can decide to create a game or a poll or something people can really engage on your page. So just prompt ChatGPT, maybe give it like a context. Maybe you have an event that just happened, so you can do something like the year just began and you want people to actually put your housing plan or building plan into their New Year resolution, let me say it's time to get done with the New Year, whatever. And maybe you want them to create a habit of actually looking out for properties or checking out stuff that's on your listing. So now, prompt, let's see what ChatGPT is going to do. So what we're actually looking for is games or things that will make them react to your page. So maybe questions that trivial that cannot be ignored by anybody. So now we can see like how powerful, how organic, how like more relatable we can prompt the chat to give us something that really and actually works. Yep. So now we're going to do test B, where we are going to be showing you just us asking ChatGPT to generate a content for us or generate a content strategy for us doing XYZ. So create a new page now, create a new chat, and then just write, ChatGPT, I'm a social media manager. I want you to maybe give me a content calendar for a real estate company called XYZ, blah blah blah. Just the basic thing we do. Now, even though it took context from the previous prompts we did, it still did a very shabby work, right? So the best way to make use of the GPTs or your prompt, DeepSeek or whatever, is actually to understand the job, understand how these systems work, how you can actually, how it works generally. So you need to understand how to work on content. So if you have not been able to purchase or have access to, just keep following my page. You might as well join a wait list. So once I launch the program or the course, you'll be the first to know. So you need to know how to create content first before starting using ChatGPT. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.